Okay, fifth graders, tonight's homework is kind of fun here. So the first thing it asks you to do is to write your initial on the coordinate grid below. It doesn't say to, but it works best if you do it in the positive first. So I'm going to write a D for my first name, which is Deb. And I'm going to make mine kind of pointed. Let me go down one more. Kind of a pointed D. And it's going to look a little bit more like a triangle because it will work a little bit better for me. So now when I've plotted my points, I can say that this point right here is 3, 9, over 3, and I went up 9. This point right here was a 3, 3. And this point right here was a 6, 6. Your initials are going to be a little bit different, so your numbers, your ordered pairs here might be a little bit different. But here's where it gets tricky, so you might want to pause the video while you're writing yours right now. You're going to need these points. You might even have 4 or 5. Okay, now the next part says use the y-axis as a line of reflection between the preimage, right here, the one we just did, and image 1. So I need to move something over here. So if I'm using the y-axis and it looks like I was 1, 2, 3 over from the y, so I want to go 3 over this way. 1, 2, 3 and start plotting. And so now I have a 3, 3 for that one, but it's not really 3, 3. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. Right here. Cross that one out. It's a negative 3, 3 for this side. Negative 3, and then I went up 3. And this one over here, again, I want to count over 3. Don't want to make that same mistake again. 1, 2, 3. And so I'm a negative 3, and this time I'm up 9. Negative 3, 9. I'm trying to match it up with this one. And then my last one right here, I was over 6, so this time I'm going to want a negative 6. And I was a negative 6, or I was a 6, 6, so this one will be a negative 6, 6. And I might want my straight edge to help me out here. A negative 6, 6, so I don't lose my spot. Plot my point. Now if I connect it, I should have the same shape over here. The question here was what happened. It says use the y-axis as a line of reflection between the pre-image and image 1. What did we have to do each time when we plotted those points? Do you notice a change here? We needed to change our first one to a negative. So the rule is change the first one to a negative. You can word it differently if you want to. That's just how I'm going to do it. Change the first number to a negative. Next, it's asking us to use the x-axis, that's this one right here, as a line of reflection between the pre-image right here and image number 2. So now we just have to flip it down this way. So if I could fold the paper, I'd want it to fold right on here and be exactly the same. So I was 1, 2, 3 up, so I want to go 3 down. 1, 2, 3 down. And if I plot that point, I'm a 3, 3 again. However, 3, 3 is here. I want it to be down here. Oh, did I do it again? I keep skipping lines. There's a little gap in there I'm missing. 3, 3. So I went over 3. That part's positive, but then I went down 3, so this part is my negative. There's my 3, 3. And then on this one it was a 3, 9, so I'm anticipating I want a 3, negative 9. Let's see if that looks right. Over 3, down 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, down 9. And then this, I would guess, would be a 6 and a negative 6. So over 6 and down 6. And if I connect the dots, it should look like just the reverse of that one, just flip down. So if we look at our pattern, this time it's the second digit that we needed to change to a negative. And then I bet you can anticipate what's coming next. Use the y-axis to reflect image 2 and 3. So we need to, here's image 2, and then we want it over onto 3. So we can move it over this way. We were 3 over, so we'll count 3 over. 1, 2, 3. And this one, we were 3 over that way, so we'll count this way. 1, 2, 3, and plot that point. And this one, we were 6 over, so we'll do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect our dots. We have to figure out what our plots were. This time we went to the left, so our first digit is a negative, and it was already negative on this one because it was asking us to compare these two this time. So a negative 3 and a negative 9. And then we also had a negative 3 and a negative 3. And then a negative 6 and a negative 6 to get over there. So it says, using the y-axis as a reflection between images 2 and 3, what was the rule? And I think the rule, if I'm looking at this correctly, is to add a negative to the first digit. When I say digit, I'm meaning a number, so we needed to add a digit to that first, or the first digit is the first number. And next it says draw a letter that has more than one line of symmetry. So anywhere on here we can draw a letter that has more than one line of symmetry. Well, an easy one is O because it has multiple lines of symmetry. Another one that has a couple of lines of symmetry, let me think, an H has a couple of lines of symmetry because you can go straight this way or you can go straight down, and I bet you can come up with some other ones that have a line of symmetry, have 2 lines of symmetry. Thanks for working with me tonight.